All right, welcome to the MadLab MMA. We got UFC 294, Makhachev, Volkanovski. I'm here with Mike the MadLab Ayurado.
What's going on?
Dude, this card has completely turned upside down in the last 2 weeks, but for the better.
Yeah.
When does that ever happen? When does a big, huge card like this, have all these issues, but actually turn out to be better?
Well, do you think both fights are better now? Do you think both fights are better for this? I think they are. I think both fights are better fights.
I did want to see Makhachev Oliveira. I'm really happy about Chimaev Usman, but I did want to see Makhachev Oliveira because Oliveira just...
Yeah, but you don't think Volkanovski brings a bigger threat to Makhachev than Oliveira does? Oliveira was, listen, at the end of the day, that wasn't a good fight.
That's why I wanted to see it again.
But this was a great fight.
It was a great fight. Look, I'm not disappointed at all. I'm very happy.
Chuck Yalov did finally what I've been saying for the last 6 fights that he was going to do.
But he didn't do it before that. But
he broke.
Yeah, there's the short notice excuse thing, and then
Well, do you think they're going to use that?
Not that they're going to use it, but people are going to give him a pass because of it if he loses. You know what I mean? But either way, listen, I'm super happy. I'm happy. I love Volkanovski. I'm a huge fan.
You got to like the Chimaev fight more now.
Yeah, I do.
I mean, Paulo Costa. I mean, yeah.
I thought that would have been a good fight,
but
too.
But it still falls right into Chimaev's wheelhouse.
This just sets up everything. The middleweight now with Adesanya taking a break, and now Usman moving up to middleweight to see if he's still the Usman before the Edwards fights. Chimaev really, besides Gilbert Burns, who was he even beat? I mean, look, the guy looks dominant in whatever he's done. But I mean, there's so much going on here, dude. This is such a great card now. I'm so excited.
Let's go back, though, real quick before we jump forward. The main event, Yusuf and Barboza.
Wow.
I mean, how great of a fight was that? Did you end up watching it? Because I know you weren't around.
Did.
You ended up watching it?
I did. Dude,
did you see that comeback?
Wow. I know. I couldn't believe that.
Unbelievable. I'll be honest with you. We picked Barboza.
We had a wager on Barboza.
We had a wager on Barboza.
A fat one.
Yeah. But the fact of the matter is, after that first round, I thought we were dead.
I was like,
I cannot fucking believe this.
And he looked, he was wearing it. He looked terrible.
And then all of a sudden, it was like Yusuf just fell off a cliff.
How did that happen?
You don't have 5-round experience, or you put everything.
And Barboza's been in dozens.
That's where experience plays in, and that's where we're going to talk about that in later fights. But Yusuf probably put it on him in the first round. Said, "How the hell do I get this guy out of here?" Then all of a sudden, he's starting to get nervous. I got 4 more rounds. Your adrenaline starts going. You start getting tired. You start getting cautious. And that's what happened. So the great fight with Barboza. Jennifer Maia ended up getting cut after this fight. The one biggest disappointment, we had good picks on this card. The betting side of it, we just were outside of Barboza. It was rough. But Adrian Yanez, dude.
He looked terrible.
He looked horrible, bro.
I don't know why. That is not the Yanez that we know. The Yanez, the Yanez that lost pre-losing to Font. That's not the Yanez that we've seen. So
he lost the one way that a boxer loses, being heavy on the lead leg and get it chipped away. It's like, you got to work on that. But how about Martinez? This is a guy who literally is beating, this guy won't lose.
I was so confident in the Yanez pick, too.
So was I. I was very confident in that.
Now you got Martinez on a 5 or 6 fight winning streak. I mean, out of nowhere. Now all of a sudden he's in the mix.
He's in a big time mix now.
Yeah.
I mean, he beat a lot of people. He beat Sednar Magomedov. He handed him his first L. Like, this card lines a lot of things up.
Two different trajectories.
Oh, I'm starting to doubt Yanez now. Like, I really got to look into his next fight.
Who knows what's going on with these guys? They could have shit going on at home. Who knows?
Then you had the Dylan Danis fight.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. I saw on Twitter. I saw the melee. I saw him try to take him down in this.
I mean, it was terrible.
He didn't throw anything.
Bro, I think he landed 12 jabs to Logan Paul's 13 jabs. Like, that's how
bad it was.
Yeah.
What were they doing?
No, not that fight. That was the Logan. That was the KSI fight.
KSI fight, yeah.
KSI Tyson Fury. But the Dylan Danis fight, Logan Paul was just literally chasing him around the ring.
But the Tommy Fury's a boxer. You're telling me he didn't throw any punches?
12 jabs.
How?
Dude, it was ridiculous.
He's fighting a YouTuber.
It was ridiculous. It was actually
or TikTok or whatever.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. And then Dylan Danis, I know what he was trying to do. He was trying to gas him out. Like, he had his guard up. He wasn't getting hurt. That's what he was trying. But you can't do that with 6 rounds. You do that with 10 rounds. And 12
was Logan throwing?
No, he was just kind of chasing him around the ring, touching him with a jab. Wasn't even hitting him with nothing. It was like hitting his guard.
I wonder what they got paid for that.
A lot of money.
They got paid like the Jake Paul money?
Bro, it was pretty big. It was pretty. They got paid. That was all on Dylan Dennis's hat. Now he's saying he wants to come to the UFC. And you know what? I think it's a good move.
Logan Paul?
No, Dylan Dennis. I think it's a good move because he comes in as a perfect heel with 1 million followers on social media. 1 million. He comes in as a perfect heel. Like, he's a perfect heel, but he's got great Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu credentials. So he's technically can fight. Why wouldn't you pick him up? Why would you pick up these other guys? You take these bums off the Contender Series. You take, why wouldn't you pick up this kid and say, you want to fight in the UFC? We'll give you a mediocre contract.
I can't stand this kid.
I know, but why wouldn't you want to take him? He's got a huge following now. People are going to dial in to watch him lose. Like that, he could headline a UFC fight night card right now.
Now you wonder why Showtime pulled out of boxing and they followed suit.
Isn't that sad, bro?
And look, you know what? Like HBO and Showtime have been the
HBO.
but even Showtime too. Like those both of them have been like the boxing, like the pristine. Like boxing was more of a glamorous kind of sport. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just like a premium sport. The way I loosely look at it, and it just shows you where it's going and where it's headed. It's still good. Don't get me wrong. We still got great fighters coming up, but I mean, to have now Showtime pull out too, and now it's like the zones and the
but is it because of that what you say, or is it because everyone's going media now? Look at UFC; they're not on a channel.
Maybe
you can't watch UFC on ESPN. You got to watch it on ESPN Plus.
Well, I mean, Showtime's premium. You got to pay for Showtime. It's not free. I mean, it's premium channel too. You got to pay for the app. I just think it's turning into more of a joke. What's been going on the last couple of years.
I don't get it. We got some great boxing coming up.
It's not like it's not how it used to be with the Larry Merchant and the Jim Lampley and the professionalism of the announcers. No. You got these celebrity, they're just pulling it. Helwani, you want to go broadcast this?
Well, that's what's ruining it.
Right, they're just pulling. Snoop, you want to go broadcast this fight? Guys who know nothing about boxing,
you're right.
No pedigree about boxing, and they're talking about like they know. It's turned into a joke, a circus. And I sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't, but it's not how boxing used to be.
No, well, you got to remember, you had the three bullet panel, dude. You had Larry Merchant. Wait, it was Larry Merchant?
Foreman for a while.
No.
Wait, Roy Jones.
Larry Merchant.
Jim Lampley.
Yeah. And then you had this secondary.
Kellerman started coming around.
Like they were the locks of lock, dude. They had the best chemistry. You always look forward to HBO boxing. HBO boxing at night, remember?
After dark. After dark. Had Howard Letterman doing the cards.
Yeah. Then you had Friday night fights or Thursday night fights on ESPN. Like it was different. It's not the same anymore. You're right. It's like they got rid of Malignaggi. They get rid of everybody. Yep. So it's not the same. It's not the same. But I saw that. I wasn't as upset about that I was with HBO. HBO, I was upset.
Yeah, of course.
That was like our
staple.
You grew
up watching Tyson on HBO.
Yeah, that was our staple.
Everything. Even back, Leonard Durant, all that shit.
Yeah, so that was the staple. But we got a great card ahead of us. We're going to break down the top 3 fights of this card, but we're going to take our time a little bit. We're not just going to run through them because there's a lot to unpack and unravel, and I want to hear everything that he has to say. I'm sure you do as well, and everything I have to say, and then we're going to come up with a final conclusion.
You want to start with the Johnny Walker fight?
Let's start with the Johnny Walker fight, yeah.
All right, listen. We don't get paid to do the show, so subscribe to the channel. We do this for free. Hit the like button. We appreciate it. Comment when you can. Subscribe. Hit the little
comment when you can. Whenever you get a minute.
Click on the bell. Did they change the bell thing? Isn't the bell thing different now? Click on the bell to get notified whenever we have any new videos, and we appreciate the support. Just fucking subscribe to the channel. All right, Johnny Walker and Ankalaev. Ankalaev just came off of that snooze fest with Jan Blachowicz. They actually ruined the whole division. That fight. Yeah. They literally ruined the division. No one knew who won that fight. It was a draw. Horrible fight. The title went vacant. Dana White got pissed. Then he put the title up for grabs for Glover versus Hill. Hill got hurt. Like it's been the light heavyweight division has been a mess.
Yeah.
Ever since ever since Yuri got hurt, it's been a mess ever since.
Isn't it amazing? No, you like it's almost like in the heavyweights in boxing. It's like you're telling me out of everyone in this world, everyone in this country, you can't find a legit light heavyweight champion. Like think about all the fucking camps, everything you have. You can't find one. I can go to Patterson right now, in New Jersey, and find a heavyweight somewhere in the gym.
They might have it right now with Yuri versus Pereira.
I don't know though, because Yuri, bro, we don't know. Yuri apparently had the most grotesque injury that Dana White has ever seen.
What did he hurt?
It was something to do with his leg or his shoulder. I think it was his shoulder. It was like labrum tears, and he said it was the worst thing he's ever seen. We don't have no idea what we're going to see with him. And bro, Glover technically, let's be honest, Glover technically beat him.
He didn't technically beat him. He fucking lost because he made a dumb move.
But I'm saying
he should have won that
fight. The overall body of the fight.
But it was still a good fight.
It's a great fight. But I'm still Glover. I mean, so how good is
He's just never been sold on Yuri.
I'm not sold on Yuri.
Because Yuri's only really big win before that.
I think he beats Jamal Hill. I think he toast Jamal Hill.
And his only big win Yuri had was a spinning back elbow against Dominic Reyes. And Reyes
was washed.
And Reyes was not the Reyes who fought John Jones.
Yeah, so
like, you don't know.
You don't know.
I think this is a good test.
Yeah.
Even though Pereira didn't look fucking that good against Blachowicz.
No, he's slowed down too.
You know?
It's. I just can't believe they can't find
this division has been in flux now for about 2 years.
They can't find like a guy they're like, who really.
I almost wish Glover would have just held the belt. I mean, I liked him holding the belt.
Yeah.
The old man. Interesting fight. You know, Walker's got momentum. You know what I mean? He looked like he was on his way out of the UFC at one point. Now he won 3 fights in a row. He's got that funny style. He's definitely live here. He's dangerous. He's got those knees. He's in, what's the camp he's in now?
SPG.
SPG. It looks like they got something going over there the right way. Ankalaev, his only real loss was when he got caught in that triangle against the Bear Jew.
The Bear Jew.
Back a while ago. Then he ripped off 10 wins in a row. Then he had that shitty draw. But he ran through Ozdemir, Krylov, Santos, Smith. I mean, he ran through most of the division at that point. He looked like he was going to be the next heir, the next guy to challenge for a title. And then he had that snoozer against Blachowicz, which was odd.
Yeah.
I like Walker's momentum. I think he's live, but I think Ankalaev's going to just do what you said earlier in my office. Get up close with him. I don't think Walker's going to maintain range. Get up, squeeze him, take him down. And I could see it. I could see Ankalaev finish him inside the distance. I can. Maybe late second round, early third round. Maybe a ground and pound kind of finish, something like that. So I'm going to say Ankalaev wins this fight. I'm going to say he wins inside the distance.
Yeah, it's tricky. It's a tricky fight because when you
Walker's live.
When you look at Walker, you look at a guy who, like you guys all know, like I can't stand SPG. The SPG camp to me is worthless, and if I ever had a friend, a family member, or a fighter that was going to SPG, I would highly convince them not to go there because they are a striking camp. It ends there. They got their name from Conor McGregor, who already came in with a skill set. But outside of that, they've had nobody. Like SPG has had nobody of note to be impressed with. It was almost like getting a superstar just walking onto the basketball court that in high school that you're like, where'd this kid come from? And all of a sudden he takes you to the States. That's what kind of, McGregor did to SPG. But there are certain people that can walk into a certain camp and it just fits. And Johnny Walker fits at SPG. Like he fits there. They're a striking camp. They took his chaotic striking, his explosion, his athletic ability, and they kind of just tightened some things up. They kind of simmered him down a little bit. They kind of found that center line with chaos and patience, and he's fighting a lot better. So you have to give SPG credit for that. Like that's a product of them. That's not a product of him. He just didn't wake up one day and all of a sudden he's a more patient fighter. He's a little bit more of a counter striker. Like that's SPG. What happens now is if Ankalaev gets what he wants and goes chest to chest with him and kind of takes him down and starts grinding him against the cage, then what? Then what does SPG have blueprinted for him? Nothing. They don't have answers for that. You know what I mean? So it's, what do you guys like? Do you guys like the guy who's going to be sitting on the outside with the length and he's going to sting Ankalaev when he comes in? Is Ankalaev going to be tentative that he's not going to want to come in because he's afraid that he's going to get hit with a knee? He's going to be a little bit more cautious. Or is Ankalaev just going to clear the space, get inside, grab Johnny Walker, take him to the ground, and Walker's going to be...
I just think that Ankalaev's not going to leave himself. He fights a pretty defensive style.
I just think
I don't think he's going to...
I think he's grossly underrated.
Very underrated, and he takes calculated risks.
Yeah.
He's not going to leave himself open like that. He's not going to let him have the distance. I just don't think so.
Yeah,
he's not that exciting to watch, but he's a good fighter.
Yeah, I think Walker's path to victory is Ankalaev like either just not showing up or making a drastic mistake. Like making a drastic mistake where Walker catches him with a knee coming up the middle.
And he's not that guy. He's a very smart fighter. He's got a high cage IQ.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he was fighting guys. Think about some of the chaos he fought. He fought Kutalaba a couple times where who's more chaotic than him? And he just kind of stood patient, stood his ground. It's the same thing with Walker, but I think Walker might be too patient for his own good. Sometimes you could simmer a guy down a little bit too much where you're not active enough. So I could see that with Walker too. But yeah, I'm with you. I think Ankalaev clears the space. I think once he clears it once, he's going to continue to clear it. And I think Ankalaev's going to win this one inside the distance. I think Walker's chin will either give in or he'll end up catching him in some kind of a sub. So I'll just say inside the distance, but Ankalaev, I'll say late in the fight.
We're in agreement. All right, co-main event.
We're not going to be in agreement to this one. I know we're not.
Come on.
And maybe not the next one either.
The former champ, one of the best fighters of all time, maybe the greatest welterweight of all time, Kamaru Usman, coming on short notice, taking the phone call. Yo, how much do you think they're giving Usman and Volkanovski to come in short notice like this? Big money.
Big money.
Big money.
Big money.
Dude.
And promissory notes. Promissory notes.
And I get a title shot. And I get...
Well, they already said if Kamaru Usman, whoever wins this fight is fighting Sean Strickland.
Think about that, right? You got two guys who've never fought at middleweight that are going to get a shot at
Well,
the title.
Chimaev fought at middleweight back yeah.
He fought Holland at middleweight. Oh, yeah.
And stuff like that. He's had a couple fights.
Okay,
You know,
but in
he's
the UFC, he has.
Yeah.
But you got two guys going up to middleweight who aren't going to get, and they're going to get a shot at the title.
Yeah.
You know? So, but that's just what it is, and that's how it works. It's timing. I was watching Felder and...
do you know he's doing... Rogan's not there.
Who's doing it, Felder?
Felder's taking a spot.
Yeah, he don't like going that far, right, Rogan?
Yeah.
But I was watching Felder and he does it. They do a show on YouTube anyway called 5 Rounds.
Chiesa?
Yeah, Chiesa.
Yeah.
So Chiesa and Felder had a show. I was watching it last night called 5 Rounds. It's a pretty good show. And they take people's questions about like, you know, how do you get a title shot and how's that work?
I never saw it.
It's pretty good. And they just like, look, man, it's just timing. A lot of it's timing, man. You get unlucky. You're in line for a title shot. You get hurt. You hurt your knee, your shoulder. You blow out for a year. Someone else comes flying by, a new guy. He's like, you know, with this whole thing with Usman and Chimaev, it's just timing. You know, Chimaev Costa was going to be a good fight. Usman comes in last second. Now they had to guarantee this title shot thing to make it work. And it's just timing. Timing worked out good. And for Usman, this is perfect for him to resurrect his career. Off that weird loss to Edwards, losing twice in a row, he lost all his confidence, it seemed like, after that second fight. He wasn't the same Black Panther Usman. You know what I mean? Cocky and ego. Just blew him out. And for him to take this against this guy that nobody wants to fight is just a great storyline. And to even maybe win this fight, even better. But I know we haven't seen that much of Chimaev, right? But this guy is a different breed. He's a different animal.
But how can you say he's a different breed?
I just there's something about this guy.
After his fight with Gilbert Burns, you still think he's a different animal?
That was an amazing fight, dude.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he's a different animal.
Don't forget.
That was his only like tough opponent.
I get that.
And it went that way. And you can make an argument that Burns won that fight.
No, he did not win that fight. You watch that fight,
you can make an argument for it.
No, you cannot. There's no fucking way. He won one round. But here, you could also go the other way, right? No, hold on. You go the other way. Yeah. He fought Mearshart, and a couple of other guys. And
Mearshart. But you're not looking at their matchups.
Let me make my fucking point.
Go ahead. Okay? You're not making sense.
Listen, this is what I'm trying to say. He fought unranked guys. Mearshart was like, it was nobody. Chimaev wasn't even ranked. And then they put him right up against the number 3 fucking...
Who, Kevin Holland, who can't stop a takedown?
Burns, bro. Before Burns, he fought nobodies. Right, he made a name for himself by fighting 3 times in a row within like 8 weeks or whatever, Chimaev, right? And then they go right from an unranked opponents right to the number 3 welterweight in the world.
All right,
and he fucking wins, and he wins, and he won that fight, and that was an awesome fucking.
It was
fight.
a great fight.
It was a great.
It was a great fight.
But he showed that he was meant to be up in the top.
But he also showed a ton of holes in that fight.
And I think he learned from those.
How?
He learned from that fight.
How did he learn from it?
You're gonna see on Saturday.
What did he learn?
In Abu Dhabi.
Listen, so you're picking him. Go ahead.
I didn't make my final
decision. But then he fought Kevin Holland.
That wasn't his fault that he fought Holland.
Well, he beat Kevin Holland.
I know, but I'm saying that was a horrible fight. He was supposed to fight Nate Diaz.
All right, go ahead. I'm going to let you finish.
Destroy Nate Diaz once and for good. And then what happens, Nate Diaz gets his way, fights fucking washed up Ferguson, and walks out of the UFC with a win. That was the biggest disaster backfired right in Dana White's face.
Right.
He wanted Chimaev to end this guy Diaz for life.
All right.
That's what he wanted. Anyway, back to the fight here, okay? It's a 3-round fight. That's what really has my head spinning about this. And Usman has an amazing takedown defense. One of the greatest welterweights of all time. Has he ever fought at middleweight before? I don't know. I don't think so.
Who?
Usman.
No.
I think Chimaev's going to be too much for him.
All right.
I think coming off short notice, not preparing for a guy like this, even though he's been training.
But you know what the odds are?
I'm going to take Chimaev by decision.
You think it's going to go to cards, huh?
I do. 3-round fight. I think it goes to the card. Chimaev wins by decision.
See, I think the other way. I think if Chimaev wins, it's going to be inside the distance.
When the fuck does Usman get finished by anybody?
Bro, you're talking about if he wins this fight, it's got to be the Chimaev style. It's got to be that smothering, nonstop, barbaric, chaotic pace that eventually the ref is going to step in because there's no answer. He's not going to win a fight like he won with Gilbert Burns. That I'll bet you right here at this table. If they have a fight like that,
I don't know about that, man. Burns put fucking Usman on the ground.
Want me to tell you why?
Didn't Burns put him on?
Want me to tell you why? What is Burns' biggest issue when he fights? He gets caught in chaos. He's chaotic. He likes to throw. You hit him, he hits you. He's not going to buy into that, bro.
This ain't the same Usman, though. That's what I think.
Okay, that's a different story.
That's what I think.
So here's my take on it.
I think he might have just hit that.
When you look at this guy and say he's a different animal, I don't agree. I think he's a good fighter. I think he's a marketable guy, but I think he's got a lot of holes in his game. He came into the UFC. He fought John Phillips, who can't fucking stop a takedown worth his life.
McKee, I know.
He fought Reese McKee, Gerald Mearshart, the same thing. The Leech, meh. Gilbert Burns was the fight. That was the fight that kind of said, all right, well, we got to start taking this guy serious. His cardio isn't that bad. His chin is pretty good. He fights through chaos. He fights through, issues, and he's not always the hammer. He can be the nail. He comes back, he fights Holland. He beats Holland, who can't stop a takedown for his life. So he's got one fight on his record that was good, but that fight showed, I watched it like 3 times again. That fight showed me that as good as he is as many holes as that he does have. And his biggest hole is that this guy cannot control himself in the cage.
But let me ask you a question.
He needs to fight somebody.
Do you think Burns is top three in the world at welterweight? Yeah, right?
Right now? I don't know about right now.
But that was 2 years ago to fight, right?
I think Gilbert Burns was a beast, but Gilbert Burns was on a really good hot streak back then. He was a hot commodity back then.
But
you remember how like Gilbert Burns was like a hot commodity back then.
But Burns got an all around great game. Like, he's legit.
Great game, but I'm saying his game matches up well with Chimaev because he's chaotic too. He likes chaos. He likes going crazy. My whole thing with this fight is if you look at Usman, when you're old, you need time. You need a break. This guy got the break that he needed. Like his body is able to heal.
When was that Edwards fight? A year ago?
Yeah, but he like a little over, I think. He had the time to heal. He had the time to rejuvenate his body a little bit. He has peace in his life, dude. He doesn't have the pressure anymore with
Bro, that was only in March. August last year and then March. That was only April, May, June, July, August,
September.
Look at us counting like fucking little kids.
It was
7 months.
8 months.
7.
Well, 7 months, whatever. 7 months off. This guy just, bro, he put on weight. He soothed his injuries. He constantly trained, but he wasn't training like he was going to be. This guy was always defending his belt, always training for 5 rounds, always getting somebody ready for a fight. Like, let me finish. You got a guy, Chimaev, now who's 29 years old, who's on a 13-month break. A 13-month break, claiming that nobody wants to fight him. Nobody wants to fight me. Ask Dana White. Dana White's never once came out and said nobody wants to fight him. This is what he says. All right, so you got that going for you. You also got a situation where you have no pressure on you no more. You don't hold the belt. You don't have anything to lose. Dana White probably gave you a promissory note saying, look, you're not going to lose anything if you lose this fight. We're going to give you a lot of money. We're going to give you a chance for a title shot. And if you lose, you go back to welterweight, no harm, no foul. You got nothing to lose here.
To Usman?
To Usman. All the pressure's on Chimaev in this fight. He's fighting on his homeland. He's got a guy coming in on short notice. Everyone's expecting him to roll this guy. I think he's like a minus 400 or whatever. All the pressure is on
You're saying
on
homeland like that's a disadvantage. Usman's going to enemy fucking
you're missing
territory.
the point. The point is that's what's giving pressure on him. He's fighting in front of his people.
He don't look like he's going to afford to pressure this guy.
He's
Fucking
fought one guy.
You don't know what he's talking about.
So Usman has fought everybody. He's fought every style. He's fought every riddle, and he's beaten everybody. Sometimes you said this a while ago, and I think 3 fights ago. Sometimes the stars just align.
You think the stars are aligning for Usman?
Usman's winning this fight.
Hey,
don't hate me. Don't sit here and fucking bang the desk and say, don't hate me. That because if I'm right, you could come back and say, hey, I said he was lying. No, you picking Chimaev. You think he's gonna roll him.
I didn't say roll him. I said it's going to be too much. I said decision. I didn't say fucking roll.
Well, you could roll somebody in a decision.
I didn't say roll.
30-27, that's a roll.
All right, no. I think it's going to be 29-28.
So here's my prediction. If Chimaev wins this fight, you're going to know within the first minute. His knees are going to look off. He's not going to have the explosion. He's not going to stop it. He's got a 97% takedown defense, but don't look at that because who's trying to take him down? Really, he was always the one trying to take you down at the beginning of his career. I'm talking about Usman's 97% takedown defense. Nobody's really.
He did stuff Colby a lot.
Right, but I'm saying for the majority of his career, he was the one taking you down.
Yeah.
This is new with him.
Until he started with the striking.
So I don't look into that. So I think Chimaev is going to take him down. I really do. I think he's going to get him to the ground early. He's going to drop. The key to this is to see if he pops back up. If he doesn't pop back up, his knees are shot and he's war torn. The fight's going to be over. That's my honest opinion. If this goes into the second round, that jab is going to start taking away his breathing. It's going to start picking him apart. He's going to get frustrated, and you're going to see Kamaru Usman win this fight. I'm going Usman, baby, by decision.
All right.
How much? Pizza. Wait, you owe me pizza from the last fight.
I do not. From what fight?
Didn't we bet pizza?
What
was it? What was the bet?
And I won.
Didn't I pick? No, you didn't. I picked Barboza, and you had Sadiq Youssef.
I didn't pick Youssef, did I?
We're going to look into this. All right, so official, Usman by decision, and you got Chimaev by decision.
My official, yeah.
Sweep?
29-28.
You think he's going to win a round?
Yeah, I do.
All right.
All right, Volkanovski, Makhachev. Last fight was awesome. I just watched it again, actually. Monday, I watched the fight again, all 5 rounds. And, dude, Volkanovski really had his moments in that fucking fight in the first round, and especially at the end of that 5th round, the way it ended.
I honestly thought he was going to win at one point.
When he put him down at the end with that shot. I mean, I just can't stand that he's coming on for short notice like this and not having a full camp to prepare against a guy like Makhachev. The only thing that, really bothers me about Makhachev is that he's not a Khabib. All right, he's not Khabib.
Yeah, but you don't know that yet.
And maybe people ducked him, but dude, who did he beat?
He hasn't beaten a lot of Greek. I'll give you that.
I mean, the toughest guy, Oliveira was the best guy he's beat.
He destroyed him.
Destroyed him. Oliveira looked
he
horrible.
Submitted him. But did he look horrible, or was he that much better?
Maybe he was that much better, but then before that, it was Bobby Green, Hooker, Thiago Moises.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It was like those not bad guys, those above average guys, but not the Chandlers, the Poiriers, the Gaethjes. He didn't even get a chance, and he probably would have beat all those guys because those guys are all strikers, and and his wrestling is dominant. But he didn't even go through the murderer's row like everybody, like Oliveira did. Mm-hmm. Oliveira had to go through all those guys.
Or Usman.
Yeah, Usman. Dariush, he didn't even fight. That would have been a good fight. At least somebody with a level of grappling like he has somewhat. We saw none of that happen. The toughest guy he fought was probably Volkanovski, who had to move up in weight, and Oliveira too. So, maybe we haven't seen the best of him. Maybe he is that good. We just haven't seen the opponents. And, again, he's fighting a guy who's undersized. You know what I mean? Yeah, he walks around heavy, Volkanovski. I know he's walking around at 185, sure, and I want him to win. I don't want to root against him, but I'm trying to play smart here, and we're picking who we think is really going to win. And I see it going similarly.
Do you think so? You think it's going to be a really close fight?
I think Volkanovski has his moments, you know what I mean? But I think the same thing is going to happen. There's going to be a lot of dominant wrestling. There might be 2 rounds where he has him almost all 4 minutes in a round down on the ground. Mm-hmm. I think Volkanovski is almost unchokeable. If Ortega couldn't choke him back in that fight, he has that big traps in there. Maybe he's just not chokeable. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I think it's going to be 3 rounds to 2, or maybe even 4 rounds to 1 because of control time. I think it's going to be that kind of fight. I think Volkanovski has a couple of spots and moments, but I think Makhachev's going to win by decision again. I do. Yeah. I hate to say it, but that's what I think.
Listen, I'm going to tell you this right now that he's not winning this fight.
Volkanovski. Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you why. It's for me, it came really easy. The first fight was great. I mean, listen, he did better in the first fight than I ever could imagine. I really thought because I'm sitting here and telling the truth. I thought Makhachev was not going to finish him, but I thought he was going to roll him. I thought he was going to be able to take him down, be able to body him up. I was getting nervous in that fight. I was like, dude, I cannot believe we might lose this.
And Volkanovski, I watched it the other day. He got up 3 times.
That's what I mean. He was shocked.
When Makhachev was on him and had pretty good control, he got up.
But this is why he's not.
No one gets up.
This is why he's not going to win the fight. He's not going to win the fight because we know what Volkanovski is. We know how good he is. We know how elite he is. The guy's an animal, unchokeable, whatever you want to call him.
Love the guy.
We don't know what Makhachev is yet.
Yeah, we don't know.
This guy is only getting better. So now you're telling me, I don't care if he was fighting Paulo Costa or not, after Makhachev fought Volkanovski in that fight, you don't think that, despite who they were fighting, Khabib was like, look, these are the holes we have to work on. These are the things we have to work on. You did not look good here. You did not look good here. You did not look good here. You know what I mean? So, like, this guy's ever evolving, where Volkanovski, he's not ever evolving. Like, he is who he is, and he's as elite as they come.
He's at his peak.
He's at his peak right now.
I agree with that.
You know what I mean?
Like, Makhachev could still get better.
Yeah, he's going to throw some wrinkles maybe here and there, some tricks that he learned from last fight. But Makhachev is just, he could, I don't think he's hit his potential yet. I really, really don't. You know what I mean? So, and the whole thing with Father's Plan and stuff like that, being over there, like, you really have to,
He's at home.
you really have to convincingly beat him over there. You know what I mean? So I don't see it. I would be, this would be a fight, a 10 days notice. Like, I would be shocked. This one, not this one, I would be shocked if Volkanovski won this fight.
Yeah.
I really would. Yeah. I think the chips are stacked against him. I think
it's tough to pick him.
He's getting paid handsomely.
Yeah.
He's not going to, it's no harm, no foul. He's not losing anything. He's saved. If he wins, oh, forget about it. If he wins this fight. So do I think he's live? Yeah. Volkanovski's live against anybody on one day notice.
Yeah, no matter what.
Yeah, as long as he clears medicals. But I really am, I'm a believer in Makhachev, man. I really think he's, like, there's a reason why his father picked him, dude. Out of all the people he trained, there was a reason why his father, after Khabib, picked him. You know, and I think it's fate. Like, there's certain things I do believe in destiny with, and I do believe the whole father's plan. I do believe that father's plan thing. You know what I mean? So whether it's finished or not, because he's got the belt, I don't know. I don't know if it meant he's got to be a reigning champion or what, but there's something about this kid that I think that he's always going to fight up or down to the level of his competition, and he's going to be really, really tough to beat, dude. He's going to be really tough to beat. So I'm going Makhachev, and I wouldn't be shocked if he ends up getting it done inside the distance in this one. I'm gonna say by decision, but I wouldn't be shocked if he literally finds a way to hook him up in something that we're like, I can't believe it. Like,
you've never seen
like, nobody ever thought he would do that to Oliveira.
Yeah, not like that.
You didn't think like that. You didn't think he would choke him out.
Not like that.
You know what I mean? So, and I'm not saying Volkanovski's even on that wavelength, dude, because he's far away, but the guy's a beast. But I could see something happen. I just think he's gonna be too much. He's gonna be too much for him. He's gonna be too much for him. That's my opinion.
Well, there you have it, man. I'm excited. It's gonna be a great card.
We got Christine Showdown's dog pick of the week. She does not agree with us, by the way. I can tell you that right now. She likes Volkanovski.
She does
in this spot.
It's tough to pick him in this spot. I want to pick him. It's tough to pick him.
We are on different sides of the fence here, but that's her pick.
Well, big card. Look at the link down below in the description. You guys know what we do. We're at DFS.
We're going to have a special this week, too.
We're going to be giving away a couple DK contests. We're going to give away doing a couple of boxes of cards.
Anthony's going to give away his lion tattoo.
Jerk off. Come click on the link. You'll see a discount code in that link over there. Come try us out. We have an amazing community of MMA fans. We're going to watch the fights together on Saturday. We have NFL on Sunday, college football Saturday, NFL Thursday, Monday. I mean, we're busy nonstop, having fun, wagering, DFSing, talking shit with our other community members in here. So come try us out. We have a weekly pass, $14.99. Jump on the weekly, give us a shot, and you'll love to be around these guys. Nothing but respectful guys. No one really talks shit that's disrespectful. It's all like good fun stuff, So we'd love to have you try us out. Thanks for supporting the show. Make sure you like, subscribe, and do all that stuff, all right?
When the fight, or is the TG round?
Oh, I picked Elkins, you fuck. You owe me pizza.
Come on.
Yeah.